She was a bridesmaid, I was an usher at a wedding for her cousin Carol, who married one of my good friends, Murray Pestridge, and she kept passing down the line as she's going through the ceremonies, and I was interested. I looked at her. She was very pretty.
Eventually, he did ask me to dance. And I think he did ask for my phone number. I'm pretty sure he did, but I never heard from him.
So after a while, I finally did turn around and give her a call and told her, "You remember me?"
Yeah, I remember. Yes, I think I remember you. And in my mind, I said, I'm waiting for you for 5 months.
And the next thing you know, we had a date with Carol and Murray. We were in the back of the car and they were in the front. And it was a success. We really enjoyed each other's company and we agreed to see a lot more of each other.
I think on the next date, we went to downtown Brooklyn. There was like a Schraff's, something like that. And he wore Argyle socks. I remember those Argyle socks. And then we started dating. And since we didn't have too many places, he didn't have a car, and we didn't have too many places to be together, we'd offered his brother Joe, who had 2 little children, that we babysit for them. And when we were there, we started talking about traveling, what we would love to do. I said, oh, we would like to go here, we'd like to go there. And I said, well, we'd have to get married first. And he said, well, of course. And that was my proposal.
I offered to marry my wife at the time, and so we were married on May 30th in 1954.
My father and mother did walk me down the aisle. Herb's brother and sister-in-law walked him down the aisle. And we had a beautiful wedding.
Fly me to the moon.
I was scared out of my wits. Daddy says he still has scars on his leg from me digging my fingernails into his leg for the whole 2 hours or whatever it was. We went to Bermuda. In Bermuda, the first day I was out in the sun. It was a lovely sun. I didn't have any sunscreen on or anything. I developed a sun poisoning. So I couldn't put on a bathing suit the rest of the time I was there. Then we went out bicycling. They had very nice motorbikes. I'm used to riding a bike all the time, and when you stop to look over a hill or something, you lean the bike against your leg. Well, this bike had a motor there, a hot motor, and I burnt my leg. So I couldn't wear shorts anymore. Anyway, that was our honeymoon. Coming back on the Queen of Bermuda was very nice. Coming through, seeing the Statue of Liberty as immigrants see it. It was a lovely sight seeing it for myself from the ship.
And soon after that, I was drafted. I started my Army time at Fort Dix, and then I moved on to Fort Monmouth, and then I moved on to Aberdeen Proving Grounds, and then the final stop was Lawton, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma sounded like I'm going to another country altogether.
I had a 1950 Chevrolet, and we loaded the car up, and we went all the way out to Lawton, Oklahoma.
And in Oklahoma, we found the nicest apartment of all, and I enjoyed Oklahoma. I enjoyed being there. It was a nice experience.
We went up to Colorado one day to visit my nephew, Ronnie. He was in service there.
His friend said, you told me your aunt and uncle are coming. Well, who are these young people? I say, look, your age or younger. So.
Then there was a time out there we were trying to teach my wife how to drive, and I had her out in the wildlife refuge. And while we were out there, a herd of longhorns came around and surrounded the car. And my wife got panic-stricken. I said, just wait. There's nothing much we can do. After a time, they just all turned around and left. And she said, I don't want to learn how to drive in the refuge anymore.
When we came home, I was expecting our first baby, who turned out to be Nancy.
We started looking around for a place, and we found a nice new building on Ocean Parkway, 160 Ocean Parkway. We decided this would be a good place. So we found out it was $150 a month. When Rita's mother heard that we were paying $150 a month, she went ballistic. How could you pay that much? But we did.
And of course, Nancy was born 7 months later. I couldn't believe I was a mother. It was wonderful. It really was.
Becoming a father was a real pleasure. Having my own child and to nurture and bring along. And we had plenty of room in that apartment on 160 Ocean Parkway. The cribs and the beds and a long hallway where they could walk.
It was such a nice thing having Ocean Parkway to sit on and have the benches were there. Jean and Adolph were our main ones.
They came quite a bit and they enjoyed the scene and they would rock the children in the carriage.
And this apartment was where I started my entertaining career. Yeah. Okay. So the whole family came over, my Aunt Rose and Uncle Harry, my cousins Judy and her brother George, Grandma and Grandpa, and my mother and her husband. And even Sherry was there because I was pregnant at the time. Several other young couples the same as us were moving in, also pregnant. So the few couples we became friendly with, we all had babies about the same time. 3 of them knew how to play mahjong. They called me in, you have to come play mahjong with us. So they taught me mahjong. Then we all had a second child together around the same time. And I had Sherry. When Sherry was born, my elder daughter Nancy took on her role as assistant mother. And she helped me with the baby. She was 16 months old. If I'd ask her to get me a diaper or a bottle for the baby, she went right over and got it. She was always very responsible from day one. And then came along Sherry, who was a breath of fresh air, and did whatever she wanted to do, always. By then I was ready to, how about let's get a little house for ourselves. And we found a little house in Franklin Square.